my favorite songs are slow and sad. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Welcome to the Sad Song Queens podcast, where we dive deep into the songs that make us cry. I'm Laura Webb.
And I'm Lindsay Wolfington.
Today we are talking with Christina Perri about her song Evergone.
Multi-platinum singer-songwriter Christina Perri first captured hearts with her 2011 debut album Love Strong, featuring the massive hit Jar of Hearts. Before she was signed to a record label, the song was used on the TV series So You Think You Can Dance and got the attention of Atlantic Records, who signed Christina, and the song quickly became the heart of the album.
Later, Christina released the timeless ballad 1,000 Years, written for the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn, which is now certified diamond and has more than 2 billion views on YouTube. It has become a true sentiment of love, played at weddings all over the world. I even think it could be played at funerals. Inspired by the families built around the song and her daughters, she has since turned it into a lullaby and a children's book.
Now, Christina is a mother of 2 daughters, Carmela and Pixie. She's continued to lean into personal work, creating 3 lullaby albums inspired by her girls. Today, we will be talking about a song from one of her more recent albums, A Lighter Shade of Blue. The song is called Evergone and was inspired by the loss of her daughter, Rosie. Since the loss, Christina has been an advocate for women's health, encouraging pre-pregnancy blood tests. We are honored to have her on today's podcast to talk about it.
So grab those tissues and let's get into it, because we all need a good cry. And now, Evergone by Christina Perri.
Thoughts of you would bring me back to times I thought we'd always have. Who knew the world could spin so fast? I didn't. I write letters to you in my head, things we did, things we said. Today I heard someone say your name again. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, in the songs we sing and the ones we leave, we carry on. But no one is ever gone. No one is ever gone. No one is ever gone. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, no one is ever gone. Think about a better place and learn to live with the heartache between the nights and days that wash away. And every time I think of you, I feel you in the things I do. With every step, you're in my every breath. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, in the songs we sing and the ones we leave, we carry on. But no one is ever gone. No one is ever gone. No one is ever gone. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, no one is ever gone. I don't wanna keep going on without you. Grow around the pain if I have to. So I'll make a space inside my heart where no one is ever gone. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, in the songs we sing and the ones we leave, we carry on. But no one is ever gone. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, no one is ever gone. In the songs we sing and the ones we leave, we carry on. But no one is ever gone. No one is ever gone. No one is ever gone. In your hopes and dreams, in your memories, no one is ever gone. It's been so fast, I didn't.
All right, you got me.
Yeah, I'm already
Yeah.
misty.
I know. I cried last night too listening to it.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh. Oh,
Sorry.
thank you. Thank you. Sorry, not sorry. All the feelings.
Welcome, Christina. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. I haven't listened to that song in so long.
No?
That it was really nice to hear, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just as good as I remember it.
Good. Well,
good.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful and stunning, and that's why you're here.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I had a moment where I was like, do I give into it?
Right.
the sadness. But like,
Yeah.
sometimes we sit here and you can't help it. And there are other times when you're making a choice to either like give into the sadness and
Sure.
let the
I
tears
know.
come. I always think when I put on makeup for coming on the podcast,
Sure.
I'm like, is it even worth it? If I
Yeah.
cry, it's going to be all gone anyway.
Shout out, let's find the best waterproof mascara.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
honestly.
for real. But the bridge especially got
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
And but I also am curious. So we understand that this song is about losing your daughter Rosie.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Who-
Almost exactly 5 years ago this month. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I read that. Wow.
Yeah.
That we're talking in November.
Yeah, I know.
But then it also has this universal message of no one is ever gone.
Sure,
Because so
sure.
many of us have experienced loss. And
Yeah.
was that intentional?
Yeah. So what I love about this album, well, first of all, I recorded the whole album pregnant with Rosie, which is really interesting. Not this song,
Oh,
I have to
wow.
say, every other song on the album. And so the story of how this sort of unfolded, I think, is really interesting as an artist. And because I recorded, it was the pandemic. I was in New Jersey. I had Jen DeSilvio come to New Jersey and live in my back house of my house and like make this album with me. And, Taylor Swift had made like 7 albums in the pandemic. Like I was like, I can do it. I can do one. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
And so I was, and I was pregnant. So I was like, this is the perfect time to just hang in and create something. So we made the whole album a lighter shade of blue and all the songs. And then this tragic, awful thing happened in November 24th, 2020. I was planning on like maybe releasing the album in January. Like we were like figuring it out for like just after the holidays, after we had finished recording. And obviously like everything stopped in my life. No one on earth asked me about my career. You know what I mean? Like no one was like, when are you?
thank God.
Yeah, of course. Oh, no. Like I was, oh my gosh, I was so carried and loved and supported through the whole thing. I mean, that's a whole other podcast. It's like, just the community of women and moms who have lost children, but also internet and like the upside of it, and like community there and just feeling super supported through the hardest experience of my life and so many people, it's sad for everyone, but like so many people just took it so personally. Like I just remember thinking like so many people I didn't know, maybe because I share my life publicly, maybe because they knew my daughter Carmela was excited about being a big sister. Like I let everyone in anyway. So I think everyone felt a sense of like they know me. So that made it even harder. So anyway, so I didn't even think about the album for a while. And then I remember in the spring, I'd been doing like grief therapy. I had moved to California. I left New Jersey. I was like, seeking sort of refuge in the sun. Like I was like, just trying to heal and grieve and do all the things. And my daughter was in therapy. Like we were all just sort of like, trying to get better. And I just remember thinking like, oh, wow, like I made an album. Like I forgot, like it came to me. So this is also like a sign of healing is when you start to picture your future. Like I know in like trauma work, they say like when you're really traumatized, you can't see anything in the future. So I was like, oh, I wonder what I do with that. Like I really loved that. And like Rosie was with me when I made that. And then so I started like thinking and I was like, well, I love that we have that, but I can't move forward without now including this experience. Like it was like, I've always been authentic and honest, whether it's like a breakup or, a struggle of some kind or even, like postpartum depression or like all this stuff was on the album I had made.
Yeah.
And miscarriage. I had already had a miscarriage before Rosie. And I wrote the song Roses in the Rain. And that made
I was
it,
wondering.
Yeah, because we were going to
Okay.
name that baby Rosie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just wild how it all sort of became all on this album. Like
Yeah.
I thought like that was the hardest thing we
Yeah.
were going to go through. And then
Right.
like it just got, it got more and more intense. But as an artist, I was like, yeah, I've never done anything that's like not super authentic. So I was like, we have to include, this experience or I don't want to do it.
Right.
Because then it's like my life got leveled. It was like, what matters? You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're in that deep of grief, like you just see the world so different. And it's like, oh, I just want to spend time with Carmela. I just want to like, do I want to be an artist? Do I have
Right.
something else to say? Like, do I go away now? Do I like go be a speech pathologist? Do I work at Disneyland? Like I like really thought of all the things.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, no, because this thing kind of this little voice came back inside of me that was like, no, I have a voice for people who don't have a voice. Like I've always been the girl singing about whatever I'm going through, and that helps a lot of people. So I was like, okay. So all these things were just sort of very slowly coming back to me, like intention, purpose. It was like, maybe I'm supposed to share about this. So many people helped me. Maybe I can pay it forward by speaking about it. And honestly, what's happened in the past 5 years is it's so much of my life. Like, I'm so glad that I opened this door, that this song, I had to write this song to get through it, to write any other songs
Sure.
ever again. Like, it was one of those things where it's, I won't move on 1 centimeter until I share what's, the biggest feeling I have.
Right.
I feel like once I wrote this song, I felt ready again to have people even look at me. I mean, it
Right.
was really like a sense of like I either hide away because it was such like a sad experience that when it comes to grief, everyone loses a parent, or a pet. These are things like, even though they're so heartbreaking, it's something that we all experience or help people get through.
Yeah.
But like losing a child is just like not something that should ever happen. So I felt like the Grim Reaper. I would like walk in the room and like no one could look at me, and I was like, how do I navigate this now? And then I include her. Let's go. Like I bring it up first. It was something I learned, like even to just get through grief as a person. Like even if I didn't include my art in it,
Right.
like I was like trying to figure out how to be a person with this experience. I learned so much about people and I learned so much about grief. And then I was like, yeah, well, this is my superpower. People cry, but people feel better when they cry.
Totally.
I'm no stranger to that. Like everyone in the audience is singing, Jar of Hearts on the top of their lungs.
Sure.
And so it's like everyone has lost someone. So I was like,
And they
okay.
will, or they will.
Or they will,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, okay. I was like, this feels, important enough for me to actually like come out of my grief bubble, which also helped me move forward. I mean, it really helped with my process. And I was able to channel, all these feelings and emotions into music, which is so healing, which honestly is like my story from like age 8. Like that's always where I put my stuff. My heavy stuff, like everyone has somewhere, I think, or needs somewhere to put their stuff. And, whether it's sports or, working out or sitting under a tree listening to sad songs, in school all by myself, like in my bathroom, crying alone in the mirror. You know what I mean?
What
Like,
are you talking about?
yeah. No, I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm on the right podcast.
That's right.
It's always been the thing for me to help me. So selfishly, in a way, I might have done it even if I never put it out. Like I feel like it maybe just helped me move forward.
Yeah.
And then I just felt like it fit really nicely on the album. I mean, the whole album is so emo, a lighter shade of blue. Every song is about a level of sadness. So for me, it was
Totally.
like the spectrum
Oh,
of
I was
blues.
listening last night on my walk, and I
She
was
kept
like,
texting me. She was like, and this one. And
Yeah.
this
Oh
one.
my
I know.
gosh.
I know, because it's like I had listened a while, and then it was sort of like to prepare tonight.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's our girl. I was like, you get us.
Literally. And I was like, and it's interesting too, because I had almost felt I had succeeded in some way by accepting my sadness. Like I remember doing interviews about A Lighter Shade of Blue when I put it out. And I was explaining, do you guys know the Enneagram?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm an
Yeah.
Enneagram 4, which is
Which one is that?
Which one is it?
the individualist. It's the
Okay.
emo queen. It's
Okay.
literally like, you like cut me open and I'm just like sad songs inside. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
Oh.
like, I've always
That's
said that.
not what I would think with the title, The Individualist.
True, but if you do read
the-
more
Sure.
about it, it's
Yeah.
like it's just the emotional one.
Okay.
Right.
So like all 9 numbers are
Yeah.
have their
I'm a 9. She's a 2. So I'm a peacemaker.
Of course.
She's a helper.
I know Honestly, I know too much about it. I even went on retreats. Like I'm like a big.
Do
giant...
you know Ryan O'Neal?
Yes.
Okay.
We had
was
him
he
on
on?
too. Yes.
Okay.
We talked
Because
about
you know how he had a whole album.
Yes.
of
Yes.
each.
Wait, I'm like I
Yeah.
made one of the sounds for 4 because he asked me because I'm like one of his favorite
yes.
4 friends.
Oh,
he has a
good.
couple 4 friends. Me being the best one, I think. I'm the
Obvi.
4est 4 of all 4s. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
And but only a 4 would say that. So that's like
Okay.
very 4
Yeah.
of me to say.
We made him guess ours.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he knows. Well, I even went on a retreat. I think it was
With the person that he
Richard
learned
Rohr
from.
that
Okay.
he learned
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then anyway, we have mutual friends in the
Yeah.
Enneagram world. But I feel like Ryan O'Neal and David Hodges were the 2 guys that introduced me to the Enneagram.
Okay.
And then in very 4 fashion, I have felt like I was missing a piece my whole life. And that's what I read. Like the first thing I read about 4s, it was like you feel like you've been missing something your whole life. And at the end of your life, you will find that you've had it all along. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
the Greek tragedy of a 4.
I know.
Like that is
Ah.
just my, like that. I was like, oh my God, I'm so understood. All 4s want to do is be understood. So
Sure.
2s just want to be loved and needed.
Mhm.
9s just want to be like
They want
not
everybody to
no
get along.
confrontation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want you want to like keep the peace and like be everything for everyone. And 4s just want to be understood. That's like the core need.
What's 6?
The loyalist,
Oh,
Mhm.
what's 1 then? Oh, the achiever.
perfectionist. No, the 1 is the
What's achieving? 3?
3.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, my 3 and 6 are the other parts of my triangle.
I was gonna say, yeah, you
yeah.
are 6 and 3 too.
Yeah.
Just like because everyone's the triangle. You disintegrate to a number and you integrate to a number.
Okay.
Your high qualities and low qualities represent the other numbers.
What's your other numbers?
2,
Mhm.
And 9. Perfect.
no, 2 and shoot, I can't even remember. Is it 1 and 2, or is it 2 and 8?
No,
I
big
can't
deal.
remember. Wow, that's really interesting. But I identify so much as a 4.
Mhm.
But a 3 wing because I'm also a performer. So like most
right.
people who do what I do are 3s.
Okay.
I've met them. I've confirmed it. Everyone I've ever toured with, I'm like cool. Like every once in a while you get a 4,
Mhm.
and I feel like Ryan O'Neal. Well, he's a 9, but like it's just like there's something about the struggle of being the performer. It's like not natural. Like 3s are natural at it, and
Right.
because like they just have to be heard. Everyone look at me. Everyone listen to me. And the 4s are like, listen to me, but don't.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
That
Like,
makes sense with your music.
Yes. Yeah.
Listening to your canon of work, I'm like, okay, that actually makes sense. Yeah.
It's like my diary. So much of it is so important to me to come out of me, and like again, it's how I've healed all my wounds. But like, you don't have to listen. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's like so, oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. But anyway, I say all that because the color of the Enneagram 4 is blue.
Oh.
And so what I loved about learning about the Enneagram, which is sort of what the album is, for me, because I got so into it,
Yeah.
but kind of secretly because not everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
But it was the shades. So I had realized that when I was turning like 30, the older I got, I became more comfortable in my skin. And then I became a mom. And it was like, oh my gosh, my whole world like just changed again. And it was like, and I just kept feeling like I was peeling all these layers of me. And I felt like when I was younger, I was always trying to not be who I am. Genuinely, even if it wasn't as like specific or like intentional or I wasn't as conscious of that. I was trying to fit in, or I was trying to, not be the sad girl, on the weekends who just wanted to like cry to Mariah Carey. Like I was like trying always to do something to get out of maybe my like natural character or like who I really am. I then embraced it, became a songwriter. Now I'm like, oh, makes so much sense. I was such a little emo kid. Like I'm a songwriter. I get this. Like, oh, wow, that all sort of makes sense to me now. But it took aging for me to get that. Like I feel like you could have hit me over the head with it and I wouldn't have gotten it until I've got older and experienced life. And so when I made A Lighter Shade of Blue, I was like, wow, I'm no longer like the deepest blue, which was probably my 20s where I was like it was unmanageable how emotional I was, whether it was like in my career, in my relationships, in my family, in myself, in between my brain. Like I got sober. Like I struggled with drugs and alcohol and people and, like everything. It was just like everything. So I like imagine that whole decade of just like a dark royal blue. Also just trying very hard not to be that color, which made it harder and worse. And I made me darker and darker blue. So by the time I got to about 30 or 31, when I had my daughter Carmela, I just felt lighter. And I was like, that's exactly what I want this album to be. But I stopped trying to be a different color. Like I was like, no, I've accepted who I am, but like I'm just like through all the work I've done, through sobriety, through therapy, and this was all even before Rosie. This was like I was this emo my whole life. You know, I with the pandemic. I mean, everyone had been through a lot. You know, by the time 2020 rolled around, the end of 2020, so it was all very appropriate for my life. But I felt like that's what that album means to me is like, yeah, I'm still blue and I'm done trying to
You're like, I wear
change.
it with honor.
Yeah, and I don't mind at all, but I am proud of myself for just being a lighter shade of it.
Yeah.
And that's what like all these songs kind of represented to me.
Was it always going to be called that? Or did you decide the title after?
No, I did the title first.
Okay.
So actually, I mean, I had written songs. So many. I did so many songwriting sessions after, because I did like 19 tours in a row.
Wow.
When Jar of Hearts came out, it led right into 1,000 Years, which led right into literally 19 tours. And so half of them were headlining tours, and then the other half were opening like One Republic, Demi Lovato, Ed Sheeran. Like I was like, I had the best time ever. And we played stadiums. I mean, it was wild.
That's
like my
awesome.
life, those years of my life were, you know, a dream.
Yeah.
And then when that stopped, I was like, I'm dead. Like I was so, I mean, talk about emo. I was like laid on the floor, I think for like a week. And I got into Legos. Like I got really into Legos because every Lego I did, I was like this is so dramatic, but I would like put myself back together.
Yeah.
Like I felt so broken.
Well, and that so talks to the like, one, my kids know about laying on the floor. I have a 13 and 15-year-old. They know that like laying on the floor is good for your nervous system or something.
Yeah, grounding.
And then playing and
it's
doing
also good.
you know, manual things, right?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So I got super into Legos. And then as I got older, I mean, I still am into Legos, but I also love puzzles. Like I do to calm my central nervous system. I do wooden puzzles, not the regular jigsaw, but like wooden ones.
Cool.
I think I realized with puzzles during COVID, I needed to keep my hands busy.
Yeah.
And it was that
It's
you could
healing.
like focus. And now my thing is I'm into paint by numbers.
Oh my God, I love that.
And
Watch out. She's going to send you one.
I know.
Okay.
But I pick fun ones. But everyone has
I just
a
got
painting.
gifted them for my birthday this
It's
past
actually
August.
Very nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because it's the same of like,
Yeah, it's meditative.
yeah, like on rough days where you're just like, I need to turn my brain off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just to sit down and be intentional. Maybe I'll put on an audiobook, an album.
Yeah,
and just,
Same. I listen
yeah.
to music and
Yeah.
I'm right behind you.
Yeah. It's all like, I went through loss of my dad. And
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I like took pottery classes and the play. And it became really vital.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
found my way to that somehow after I had finished all this touring. So when I got off tour, I did take a nice break. I was
Good.
like, I'm dead.
You
I'm
have
out
to
of here.
have something to pull. Like,
Also,
to
exactly.
recharge.
Yeah. What have I been doing for the last 7 years but touring? And so I remember thinking I would like take a pretty big break, but I kind of fell right into songwriting right away. And so I started collecting songs. Like, you know, when artists are writing for a project, it could be 3 years and like, you know, you never use the songs that you wrote in the beginning. They lead to what you really want to get to, or, you know, everyone's process is totally different. So for me, I had written a lot in 2016, like just sort of getting myself back into it a little bit. And then I met my husband, Paul, and we were so in love. I moved to New York City and I was like, I can live anywhere. Like I'm just going to go to New York now. And I'm going to, like, I just wanted a family so bad. I feel like I was like, had baby fever. Like whenever I saw babies, like, I mean, he always says even on our first date that I was like, so do you want to have kids? Like I was like so ready. So I was about 29 maybe. Anyway, so while writing, I was also in my mind, like secretly hoping that like I wouldn't do an album, but I would do a baby. You know what I mean? Like I was like, whatever comes first, an album or a baby. You know, like I was like joking about it. But I like fully manifested that. And so I ended up getting pregnant with Carmela, my first. And so a lot of those songs sat for a bit. And then it was becoming a mom and I did lullaby albums.
Yeah.
So
Right.
in between my second album and my third album, I put out, songs for Carmela, songs for Rosie, songs for Pixie.
Yeah.
and then Songs for Christmas. So I put out 4 lullaby albums. And what's also really funny about like labels and stuff is like I remember telling them like, oh, like I don't really want to do like all these songs that I know that I've written, and some of them are really good, and like, you know, you probably want me to like get back to work, but like I kind of just love like singing to my kids. So like, can I do like a, you know, lullaby album? And they're like, sure. And then they're like, but it's not going to count. So like they didn't count it towards my record deal.
They're more like, just get these out of your system. Let's move on.
Yeah, they're like, oh, cool, like non-traditional Christina Perri music, whatever it said in the contract. I was like, what the? And then I was like, it's fine. Like I want to do it. Like I want to do it. And so what's interesting now, and
they've done really well.
They did really well. Like the You Are My Sunshine, you know, was like, I mean, it's had its own life, and so I remember when it did really well, then being like, oh my gosh, when are you going to do another one? Like, let's do, you know, and so. I was pregnant with Rosie, and I had her track list. So I had made, I made the track list for Carmela based on
track list for your birth?
For the lullaby album for her.
Oh, for her.
So then I was like, oh, if I make this, like once I made one for Carmela, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to make one for every child I have, not knowing how many I would have or not having. And so while I was pregnant with Rosie, I would just hear a song in the world, and I'd be like, oh, that's perfect, you know. And then what's like so sad is that, you know, the songs for Rosie might be my favorite of the lullabies because it's the saddest.
Right.
So Songs for Carmela, it's like pretty, you know, and there's some happy ones, and but like Songs for Rosie, even some of the happier songs are now sad because it was in honor of her.
Right.
You know, I had to do that. That also really helped me with my grief.
You recorded that.
I recorded after Rosie died.
After she passed. Okay. And just to clarify, she died she was stillborn.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had her, I was 35 weeks pregnant.
And you went into labor thinking you're like so excited to have a baby? Or you knew something was wrong immediately?
No, we found out something was wrong with her intestines. But I will say that the super sad part of this is I was seeing like 5 different doctors in Manhattan, and every one of them agreed that the condition she had was like she could be born fine and they would operate when she was born, and that the chances of her living were really high. So like no one was preparing us for her to pass away. They were preparing us, you know, keep her in, like, because I was like, is this a scenario where you, like I should deliver her now? Like this was like around 33 weeks. And I was like, you know, you want them to stay in as long as possible, but like if it's dangerous, like, so we were discussing that, and I was being monitored every 48 hours, which is the protocol for that. So it kind of broke all the rules. Like the fact that she actually passed away, like I had been seen that morning. I had been monitored a stress test, a 45-minute stress test every 2 days. And like what that does is just say like, mom's okay, baby's okay, everything's normal, and then you come back again.
Yeah.
So obviously anything can happen, and that's what happened, but it shouldn't have. Like nobody was saying like, okay, like in case this happened. Like it was so the other way. It was like, everything's fine, she looks great, this is okay, everything's fine, everything's fine. It's not the medical condition, though, that made her pass away. It's not her block that she had in her intestines. I later found out that I had a blood clot. So that's what caused her to pass away. And nobody knew I had antiphospholipid syndrome, which is blood clotting disorder.
Which means you can't blood clot, or you have blood clots?
Yes.
Okay.
I made a blood clot, but I had never had a blood clot my whole life.
Right.
It wasn't in my family history, so I wasn't tested for it. And all women are not tested for it unless they've had 2 or 3 losses. So this is a whole other...
Baby losses.
And so 1 is too many. Because I had 1, and then I lost Rosie, and I was like, so you're telling me like if I didn't sit with my OBGYN who said, you know, I have a feeling it could be this, but like she's the one who said they don't test for this unless, and I'm like, wait, like you'd let me have 1 more before you test me for this, the state of California, like not her, but like the protocol
and what's passed with your insurance, and
and I was like, what? Like that was such a huge moment in my life because it changed my life forever. Because then I started like a 5-year journey changing the protocol for all women. I've been working in Washington since then. I mean, I literally just introduced the resolution this year.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
And what is the resolution called?
So it's going to be it's giving all women the test for APS, which is antiphospholipid syndrome. It's giving every woman universally the test for this blood clotting condition in the first trimester. So we already do so many tests.
We do so much genetic testing, so it would
and
be
it's
one of
just
those.
one blood test.
And it's a blood test.
It's just a blood test.
An additional one or something they test in the
No,
blood
it's an
they're already
additional
taking?
one,
Okay.
but it's just one extra. We
Yeah.
already do like a lot that first screening. Like it has to be the first trimester screening because then our blood doubles and then it's like not maybe accurate. I've done so much research about it, but
Amazing.
I also, what's interesting is I spoke about it in a lot of places, and that's kind of how I made my way to Washington. As someone in the audience, I did a live podcast, and someone in the audience worked in Congress for 30 years, and she was like, "I'm taking you to DC," and so. The story of it is beautiful, honestly. Like, and it's all in honor of Rosie. Like,
Yeah,
it
of
feels
course.
so amazing to like get to do this for her,
And that you get to, that it's.
yeah, it's gonna save babies forever, like forever, and it already has.
Wow.
There's like a woman wouldn't have thought to be tested before she had miscarriage because we all sort of just get pregnant taking the chance,
Right.
and most women don't do testing before unless they're doing IVF or things like that. But after I had that first miscarriage at 11 weeks, like I said, one is too many. So I'd love to have had that test before I even had any losses, which is what I've now changed with,
That's
this
amazing.
protocol update. It's just updating it. But what's interesting is, women will have a miscarriage and then they'll either just like not try again or they will continue to have losses until they have 3 and then they find out. And that's the worst experience in the whole world for anyone. And I was like, just what I went through with my husband and our child, like I would
God.
like I can't even imagine. Like I just think like somehow this is happening and people don't know because no one could consciously choose this. You know what I mean? And I was right. It's just become a need. Like our blood is stickier. So like
As women?
As women.
Oh,
so
okay.
I met with the president of Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, and she was the person in like the 90s who changed the protocol for gestational diabetes. So if you think about it, like, how we all get that at 26 weeks. So that's why I reached out to her. I was like, how did you update that? Because to me, I figured it out that like, hey, this is so complicated and also not complicated at all. That like, can we just add this test for everyone and like no questions asked and just like give people blood thinners so their baby is alive?
I was going to say, what's the solution?
Yeah, the solution is just, which is heartbreaking, that 1, it's preventable, and 2, it's so treatable, which for me, because I think about how, if I had known Rosie would be here, but that's the whole point, is like, I just want this to not happen to anyone else.
Yeah.
So I asked her, and she said to me, which I thought was so fascinating, that in the 90s, obesity became a thing. So obesity just wasn't a thing before. And so once a lot of women became that or had that or had conditions like that, it was like, you know what, let's just test everyone to make sure everyone's insulin or sugar, whatever, is safe. So that was my model. So I walked through Congress and I was like, it's not complicated. It's a need. It's now. I'm not dealing with the why because that's like I'm not a politician. I'm not an environmentalist. I'm not, like I think it's our food, our water, our soil, our air. So I had like mold exposure. I had all this stuff that was wrong with me. But like that's just my personal story. Like everybody I think has sticky blood for a reason that's their own. But like, let's not worry about why right now. Let's just save all the babies, you know what I mean? And give a woman blood thinner and have her have the chance to have a healthy baby and then figure out what's going on with her.
Yeah.
So that's been like my mission, my purpose. Like that's been number 1 for me. And I'm so excited that it actually is all coming through. So we just have to have it take like a vote and the government shut down. So
I know.
like,
I was going to say
we were going to do it in October because it's
Oh my
Women's
gosh.
Fertility Month or Infant Loss Month.
Yeah. Oh.
And then the government shut down. And I was like, it's fine. It's no rush. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to bring my daughters, Carmela and Pixie, to the vote. They want like them there. Because there's like no one who's going to vote no on it because it's like such a no-brainer. It's such like a – and it's also bipartisan, which is really wild. Like I got 2 co-signers. One was a Republican congresswoman and one was a Democrat congresswoman. And I was like, yeah, why not? Like this is
Amazing.
just for everybody.
And it's not like a government cost either. So there's like no cost associated with it.
So I ended up doing the lullabies and they meant so much to me for so many reasons. And then the label loved them. And then it was like, so I made one for Rosie. And then when I got pregnant with Pixie, who is my double rainbow angel baby, is what she says. She tells everyone. I like couldn't wait to do one for her, and that one has such a joyful tone to it. And then Songs for Christmas is just fun. But through all those lullabies, I was like getting myself ready to make another album as an artist. Like
Right.
I was like still trying to figure out how to be a mom and an artist at the same time.
Right.
And like making lullabies is what I wanted to do. And then tiptoeing my way back and integrating motherhood. Because I'm not a fan of like pretending it doesn't exist. Like I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that in any area of my life. Like I'm just bringing everything with me. Yeah. So like that sort of was my transition to A Lighter Shade of Blue. So I had all these songs that I had written from 2016 to 2020. And it wasn't until I wrote the song called Blue with a guy named Luke Sital Singh.
Oh, we had him on the podcast.
We love Luke.
We love
Of course
Luke.
you did. I was going to
Aw.
say he's one of my like sad song soulmates.
And was it when he was living in LA? So
Yes.
you got to be in person?
Oh my God. What's interesting is I want to say I was watching Parenthood. I think that's how I learned him.
Was it Killing Me?
No, it's Benediction.
Okay. The song we discussed was Killing Me, which kills me.
Okay. I love them all.
Yeah,
And he knows what a big
yeah.
fan I am.
Awesome.
It's so funny because when I actually reached out to him, well, first of all, I would post his stuff. That's how we became friends. He was like, hello. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of you. Like, so I heard Benediction. I think it was that one in Parenthood, the show. And then I went on this like full,
Deep dive
on Luke. And he was in England at the time. And so I would just like post that what I was listening to, whatever. And he was like, hey, like, I love your music. And so we became like friends.
Yeah.
But like not friends. Like we became like, I'm a big fan of you and you're just being nice to me because I'm like nerding out really hard. Like I was like really, really big fan.
Aww.
And so
And he probably felt the same way.
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know.
I mean, you're
I don't
kind
know.
of a big deal.
Thank you. If he didn't show it because of his British
Exactly.
vibes.
Yes.
So what's funny is like he came to LA and it was like I think when he first moved here and he was probably thinking like who do I know in LA? And I was like, so he hit me up. He was like, do you want to come over and write a song? And I was like, yes. I was like, absolutely. And then I was like freaking out. I'm like sweating. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how do I sit there and like because his voice.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Like I'm such a like fan of voices and like there's no one
Same.
like him and like so I was like how do I sit in his living room and like listen to him sing? I was
And
like
to not
this
be
either-
just like
I was like this is either gonna go so well and we're gonna like write an amazing song or it's gonna go so bad but I'm still gonna have the best time. I was like this is just gonna be great for me.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna maybe be terrible for him or fine but for me it's just gonna be great or great.
right.
And so I went to his house and I remember I don't even think I was pregnant with Carmela yet. So this was 2016. And so I was like, yeah, I'm debating on album or baby. Like I remember telling him that because then I remember being like, I'm pregnant, because we became like very fast friends.
Aw.
And we had like the best time together. And at least I did.
I'm sure he did.
I think
He's
so.
loved-
I think
yeah.
so. Because I became great friends with his
Luke,
wife.
what was your review of the
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
session with Christina?
I made him be my friend.
We'll
That's
report
what he
back
said.
here.
Yeah. I made him come to my house and eat pizza. And no, him and Hannah I absolutely adore.
And they have a
their
baby now.
son, I know, River. I'm obsessed with him. And so anyway, yes, we became good friends. But Luke and I wrote this song called Blue, and it says in the song a lighter shade of blue. So it's like
Yeah.
I never, had an album where like the lyric became, you know what I mean? Like it was. I didn't have a title for the album yet, and that made me feel like I wasn't ready yet.
Mhm.
So for me, I like still love the art of albums.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm not a massive fan of doing a ton of singles. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've done certain things like that if it's for a film or
Sure.
something. You know, but
Yeah.
like if I'm doing an album, like I almost want it to like I kind of have to see it. I have to like feel it. I have to like what is it I'm saying? What is it I'm creating? And that like I need the bigger picture. And so when he and I wrote that song, I was like, oh my God. And I told him, I was like, this is it. This is the sound. This is the title. This is like, I knew from that moment what the album was going to be.
Oh, that's so
That's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah. That was a really long story for that
No,
answer.
no, I love it. And then Surrender, as I was listening last night, which it got me misty-eyed. Was that?
I love that song.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Was that before Rosie had
Yeah,
passed?
yeah.
Okay.
I was actually-
because it's like listening, and you're like you could
Yeah.
see it both ways, but then
I
it's
know.
it pertains to so many things in your life where you just have to be like, okay, yeah.
I was actually pregnant when I wrote Surrender. I wrote it with Rachel Platten.
You did?
Yeah,
I didn't
Asia
even-
Grammer.
Oh.
And a writer, A.G. Do you know
Yeah.
A.G.?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. She's a
Yeah.
legend. And so the four of us were,
Aw.
we were all moms. And so we're actually in like a group chat. The four of us were all
Amazing.
friends, like in real life. And we all had babies in the same year, I think 2018 or right around there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had this mom group called the Rad Moms Club.
I love it.
And it was just like all brand new moms. And we got through everything together. I mean, I'm
I
not
was
even
gonna
kidding.
say mom groups are like so essential,
Oh, it
especially
was
when the babies are so little.
everything. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
first baby. Because then
Yes.
slowly everyone had more.
And then you don't have time
And
for
then
the group
we didn't
anymore.
text each other. Yeah,
Right.
like maybe we check in every 6 months. We'll just send some love because like we know like that core group
Yeah.
got us through everything.
Yeah.
And also they were there with me when I was in the hospital with Rosie. Like we were still very much communicating all the time.
Yeah.
I'd say once our kids turned like 5, it got, we just chatted less. But
Right.
I remember we all had our first kids and we were all navigating life as moms and writers and singers and whatever. And then so we all went to AG's house and we wrote Surrender together. And I was saying how I just wanted to get pregnant again. Turns out I was. And
Oh
I
my
didn't know.
gosh.
And I found out maybe a week later. I was in LA. I was living on the East Coast, but I was in LA writing. And then I had what I thought was the stomach flu. And then I took a test and I was pregnant. And that was the pregnancy that I lost at 11 weeks. But it was my second pregnancy. I was very excited. And but I was with all those women and I just loved like knowing I was pregnant. You know what I mean? There's something about it that like, because the four of us just meant that song so deeply. I feel like you can hear it. Like there's just something so special. We're all singing on it. It came together so intentionally, that song. We were all in a place where we were trying to surrender for different reasons, like all of us. Like Asia was pregnant at the time and had a little device attached to her because she had hypermesis gravidium. So she was throwing up constantly.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
And yeah, it was just like, just motherhood is.
I know. I mean, so easy.
It's so interesting. But like, so that song really was
Oh.
special to us as moms.
I want this to be a group, like a real group. The Rad Moms.
The Rad Moms Club.
Or how about the Rad Moms tour?
Well, Rachel and I have always talked. We have toured together. So me, Rachel, and Colby Calais did a tour together in like 2014.
Okay.
It was right when Fight Song was happening. And what's
Amazing.
funny is like Rachel's been my friend for so long, even before Fight Song. And so like when that moment was happening for her, I was so happy for her. She'd worked so hard and I was so glad
Yeah.
she was having this like huge moment. She was just opening for me and Colby. We did like a headlining thing.
Awesome.
And Rachel was like in her big moment. So she would like miss a lot of shows because she was like, I got to go. They asked me to go and do the late night show or they
Right.
asked me to go do Dancing with the Stars. Or,
And you're like,
and I was like, go, go,
amazing.
go. Like
Yeah.
it was just such a good time. And so Rachel and I love each other as artists, as friends, as moms, as all those things. But when she had that event at her house, so many people came up to us afterwards, like even in the industry, and that were like, can you please do this on tour? Like, can you please go on tour and do what you guys just did tonight? Like we
I
could.
think we all need that.
So
right
it was
now.
like a motherhood and wellness dinner in Rachel Platten's backyard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was delightful.
And it was like the storytelling, the meditation. There was so many little pieces of it that just made everyone feel good as moms. And, Rachel and I, that's how we are in general. And so like people were saying like, did you guys write that script? Like when we were like performing and talking and we totally winged the whole thing. I was like, no, that's just how we talk all the time. Because then we did another event in Brooklyn together. And it was me, Rachel, Megan Trainor, Elle King.
Oh.
And so we're all moms. And we
Yeah.
did a thing where we interviewed each other on stage. It was an event for a radio station. That was such an amazing event. Similarly, Rachel and I did the same thing. And like you would think like maybe that wouldn't work everywhere. And it just does.
You
like,
performed together
performed, interviewed each other.
too? Yeah.
And talked about mental health and motherhood. It was the vibe. I just remember the feeling was incredible. And I was
Well,
like, we should do that.
You
And
should.
it taps into something that so many people are feeling and haven't talked about historically.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, people that listen to my music, we're all growing up together.
Yeah.
Like I feel like very much the angsty 23-year-old Jar of Hearts me with the combat boots and the blonde streak.
We need to talk about that
I
music
know.
video outfit for, yeah.
Sure. I remember it all. But her, like I love her. I love her so much. she was so dramatic and emo at the time. And, I laugh about thinking how tired I was when I was 23. Like, I didn't even know what being tired was and all those things. The people that were in and would come to my shows and the people that supported me from that moment were then the people who watched Twilight, were then the people who got pregnant when I did, were then the people who got married when I did, people have babies when I did. Like, it's just wild how we're evolving. And also they're having fertility issues when I did. I mean, this is a whole season of life. Like family building is a whole, could be a whole decade for people. And so, all of a sudden I just became, which is why I have a kids book. I'm writing all this music now for a new kids show. I'm actually working with Disney, which is my dream.
So amazing.
And like all this stuff is like happening because I didn't try to fit in a box that looked like 2010 or I kept allowing myself to evolve, which
and
honestly,
showing up and being you.
And I don't think that labels really want that. Sometimes they want you to do what's worked before, and so my deal ran out. I didn't resign. I left Atlantic 2 years ago. I mean, like, so graciously, because I love all them so much, and they even said, if you ever want to come back, I had an option to resign, and I was like, no, I think I should own my masters. Like, this is where I'm at in my life, and I want to write music for film and TV and do that thing. And so I was like, I may tour again. I may do another album. I'm not sure. But I know that like they wanted Jar of Hearts music from me. And I was like, hey, like, I'm a mom. I'm married. I'm like, it's not where I'm at. I'm not, and I did it. So there's also a part of me being an Enneagram 4 that has to be authentic and individualist. Like I can't do something I've done.
We had such a great chat with Christina. It actually went on for quite longer. So in the interest of getting to Twilight and Jar of Hearts and that era, which we totally want to talk to her about, that will be in next week's episode. Please stay tuned. It's a really fun chat and it keeps going. And we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us today on Sad Song Queens, because you always need a good cry. We will link these songs on our show page, as well as on our Spotify playlist. Please also be sure to comment, like, and subscribe wherever you find podcasts. It helps us a lot.
Huge thanks to Christina Perri, Jennifer DeSilvio, Jason Bell, and Jordan Miller. Our friends at Cobalt Music Publishing, Artist House, Warner Music Group, Dana Salant, and Kat Basolo. Thank you to Rob Seals and the Songwriting School of Los Angeles for letting us record live in their studio today. Special production thanks to Rob Seals, Miles Bergsma, Stephanie Gangle, Avery Piantadozzi, Rob Carter, Jordan Lindsley, and our producer May Rogers. Our theme song is All My Favorite Songs by Weezer, and our outro music is by Wyatt Rouse.